Alright, what's going on, guys? Let me lower the volume on my music here. Okay, so after losing really badly in our last few battles, I have 1 win and 2 losses of which are really bad. So if we lose this one, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to be out of it because I have no chance. Unfortunately, we're facing Untraceable Stain, who's probably the best battler here, and that's debatable, but I tried so hard to take it seriously against Zach, but his team is just so much better than mine in terms of tiers, stats, balance, etc. that I couldn't really do anything. And I didn't make the team building video live, but we're going to try to make one here for Strain. So if we look at Strain's team, we notice that he has a lot of water Pokemon. So obviously he's going to bring Pelipper, he's going to bring Pert, he's going to bring Pharaoh. The rest of the Mons, though, are up for grabs. So we're going to go ahead. When I team build, it's pretty simple for my draft battles, that is. I haven't made a draft team in a while, but anyway. Draft versus me. So we're going to add what we predict, and then this will give me a better, clearer perspective on what I want to do to counter my opponent. So he has those 3 months for sure. If I'm looking at my team, and I'm like, okay, what would I bring against myself? Realistically, I find that having Xurkitree would be really helpful, but I'm not really sure if he'd really bring that. But he also has Wheezing, which is pretty solid. I know he's going to bring Pharaoh, so I might not bring Shedinja. Alright. I can't really decide on what he'll bring. Probably Xurkitree. Noivern gives him an edge over my whole team speed-wise. Beartic allows him to get through Torterra and etc. Wheezing pretty much tanks everything that my team has, because as you've noticed, my team is slow and bulky rather than offensive, which is bad because I have no offense at all. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get into my draft strat here. We're going to bring Rotom, obviously. Now, the form is really important. Wash or Grass, will be my better option. The reason why I say this is because he really doesn't have anything to switch into both water and electricity outside of Pharaoh. Same principle goes for Grass, though he does have Noivern that can swap into a few things. It's interesting, though. I'm probably going to bring Grass. We'll just go with that. My next Mon is going to be Blastoise, because I know that he will bring Pharaoh, and we can use Rain Dish, with Blastoise, which will give us gradual recovery. Now, Xurkitree will probably be brought, so I'm going to need to bring Lantern. So that's half my team already sorted out. Torterra would be extraordinarily useful if I can get it in against my opponent. Though I've always brought Torterra to every battle, because it's a really good Mon, to be honest. Tapu Fini is really good because it tanks a lot of the hits. The only Pokemon he has on his team that can Oko Tapu Fini is Xurkitree, and it has problems with Pharaoh, obviously, as well. But aside from that, it shuts down the whole team. So I'll probably bring Fini. Next few Mons here, probably Torterra, and then my last Mon. I've always brought Torterra, but I feel like Torterra is by far my better choice for this draft in pretty much every circumstance. I'm thinking Nidoking. I really am. I'm kind of stuck because Nidoking provides a lot of utility and usage. If I brought Scarf Nido, we can run some damage calcs. Obviously, you need to do calcs every single time you get into a... Why don't people use Fire Blast? Alright, in rain. It's a solid 2-hit KO, and there's really nothing he can do back. I mean, could run some bulk. It's tough because... I think I do need to bring it, but the issue is that Beartic also is a big problem. Yeah, you know what? We'll bring it. Why not? I mean, P2 provides a lot of usage as well for my particular team because it tanks, but I'm not really sure if that's the correct play to go with. Because I could, in theory, use Z-Conversion and get Grass, but then that allows Noivern to come in with Hurricane, and obviously Hurricane can't miss. So, I'll bring Nido. And this team is pretty much identical to what I brought against Sharpedo, but I have different reasons for wanting to use this team. And it's, alright, we're back. So, I don't know. I really don't know what I want to do, but... No, you can't even see my face. I apologize for that. I know that it's pointing that my face is pretty much covered up directly by the pop filter in the stand here that I set up. It's mostly for recording equipment, but hopefully it's a little better now so you can kind of see me. Anyway, obviously Rain Disc Blastoise. We need Blastoise to be able to OHKO Noivern. %, chance to OHKO. So if we get up rocks, looking at my opponent, he has no way to get rid of rocks outside of Pelipper Defog, which, I mean, Pelipper loses in a direct 1v1 against Blastoise as far as I'm aware of. But I think I'm going to use a standard Toxic. I could use Rest, but I think Protect would be kind of cool. And then Ice Beam. So it's a pretty generic set, but the great thing is that we can gradually recover most of our HP per turn. And then we're going to need to toy with the EVs a bit. I might use Hydro Pump as well to guarantee OHKOs and such. How much would I need to run to guarantee an OHKO? 62. Yeah, I'd need to be pretty much maxed to guarantee an OHKO, which is not really what I want to do. Mostly because I need Blastoise to be able to tank hits from Beartic specifically. So let's throw in Beartic in the mix. And let's throw in Rain. That's pretty good damage considering he really cannot do much back. I mean, he could dance in theory, but Hydro Pump is actually really good. Interestingly enough as well, Hydro Pump and Rain 2-hit KO Xurkitree if we hit both. But I don't know if I want Scald. Interesting thing though, I think I'll bring Scald to be on the safe side, because in reality we can catch a lot of things off guard with burns. So we'll leave this set alone. Lantern. So Lantern's going to be used to specifically handle Xurkitree. Issue though, I'm sure that many people are aware of, that Xurkitree gets Energy Ball, which I know for a fact he will probably want to bring. Interestingly enough, if I brought Shedinja for the most part, I believe that his team will have to kind of play around it. So he might bring Rock Stab on Swamp, he might bring Knockoff on Pharaoh, he might bring probably won't bring HP Fire, but he might bring Hurricane. Well, he'll definitely bring Hurricane on Pelipper. Fire Blast, Wheezing. What does this thing get? It gets some sort of way. And then we have Hurricane with Noivern. So I think he covers that pretty well already. I'm trying to think of a way Lantern can directly beat Xurkitree. Because obviously I need it to run into hits. Unfortunately, we're in the time where we can't paralyze electrics anymore. Out of sheer curiosity, that's if we run max. Like Iris with no chore on the ride in the street. So he has a role on whether or not he can 2-hit KO. But if we do have rain up, we can guarantee a 2-hit KO. With +3 though. Yeah, it's a guaranteed Oko. That's the tough part. Hydro Pump has a solid chance of killing him. I'll run AV. Wonder what I want to do for my last move. He has Pharaoh, which HP Fire could be brought. Issue though is that HP Fire doesn't really do much. I could put Pharaoh against him. See, Fire is like a 3-hit KO. To put that to perspective, I'd pretty much instantly die from Ferrothorn. Ice Beam would be nice, so I'll probably throw Ice Beam in there. Give it a spread like this, which allows it to bulk off hits and kind of work around things. Torterra is going to be interesting, and I say this for a couple of reasons. We're going to look at Megapert. Megapert has a very low base stat, but if we double that, he's going to reach 478. Now if we compare that to Torterra, and let's say we run Jolly, we're still slower. So it's not going to matter if we run max on this. I know I've used Diachi Torterra every time and it's become kind of a meme, but if we could get 2 boosts with... See, Torterra is really good, it's just really slow. I'm thinking about just running Banded Woodhammer, because if you look at his team, outside of Pharaoh, literally, well, I guess Weezing too. Weezing and Pharaoh are the only things that can not get smashed by Woodhammer. Even Noivern takes a ton from it. But I'm genuinely curious on how much Torterra can do to Pelipper. That's pretty good damage. Well, let's change that up. Pretty decent damage. I could run Dance. I mean, the whole purpose of this Torterra is to get up rocks. Because when rocks are up, if you've noticed, if I can keep rain down and rocks up, then I'm in an extremely good scenario. Issue is that I don't have many mons that can abuse weather. I could throw Sunny Day on Shedinja if I decided to bring Shedinja. But then I would need hazard control with Finny or Blastoise, so it becomes extraordinarily complicated. But that's like most battles. I'll brainstorm a bit with Shedinja here. Imagine if this Mon got Endeavor and gets Endure for no freaking reason. And Final Gambit because it's a meme. Could run Claw. Interestingly enough, though, if I get in Shedinja without hazards, the only mons he could really do anything with is Pelipper, Pharaoh if he runs knockoff, Noivern, and that's pretty much it in the general scheme of things. Because if he doesn't run Ice Punch, then Torterra runs free. Or Rotom runs free, realistically, as well. The reason why Nidoking is viable is because if you guys want to see something, I don't think it gets any grass coverage. It gets HP grass, but I want to show you guys something. Get rid of the orb here. Ice Beam demolishes this Mon. That's not an issue. Xurkitree gets O-Code. Interestingly enough, though, Nido outspeeds, so I might run Timid. Alright, I'm back, sorry. So, Timid could be brought. On the off chance he runs the... I know a lot of people like to use that one set where they use the Psychic Z, I believe. But I'd use Earth Power, Thunder, Fire Blast, and Ice Beam. Thunder basically because it effectively shuts down his whole team. Fire Blast mostly for Beartic if the weather does change. But Pharaoh also gets hit pretty hard. I don't have any hazards if I don't run Torterra. I could run Toxic Protect with Shedinja. Maybe Sneak and Protect. Oh my jolly, hello? Something like this for Shedinja? I'm thinking about running Toxic, but I could also run Claw on the off chance he brings Jellicent. Because I really do not want to be walled by Jelly. So I need Taunt on this. Defog for purposes. Moonblast for purposes. Interestingly enough, it gets Grass Knot. And the phone again. They keep trying to call me, but I'm not available right now. Anyway, if I run Modest Tapu Fini, I OHKO Pharaoh, or I OHKO Swampert, excuse me. And issue is that Swampert hits me really, really hard. Modest. It's a guaranteed OHKO if I get in on Pert, or Pert gets in on me. It's an interesting thought. And then I have the option of item freely up to me. I could run Citrus to avoid the 2-hit KO. Because once he hits me down to half, I'd be able to Citrus up and live another hit. Or I could run Gracium Z. Where is it? Get rid of this. Zero Bloom Doom is a guaranteed OHKO. That's actually appealing. I could run Gracium Z and then run Max Bulk. Because if we run this particular set, hold on. Where Where's the button? I know there's an import button here. Here it is. Yeah, so if we get Bloom Doom off, he's dead. Earthquake doesn't do enough, even with rock support. It's not gonna kill me. So this actually is really interesting. I might regret not having the Nature Madness because I will admit that my team has a lot of trouble with Pharaoh if it is brought, which it's definitely going to be brought. So it's tough because I could bring Hitmonchan. Scarf Hitmonchan does do work too. Ice Punch demolishes. Thunder Punch is almost an Oko. But if we... I'm not going to have rocks, though. But it does do a lot. And he cannot Oko Hitmonchan in return. Especially if we run bulk. But who do I drop? That's the problem. I could drop Shed. How much can I do to Pharaoh? What about Choice Band? That does a lot. Like a lot. Which makes me really want to use Hitmonchan now. Because I feel like no matter what I do, he's probably going to get hazards up. And it wouldn't have anything. It's tough, though, because obviously Shedinja provides so much offensive utility and pressure against my opponent. Blastoise seems like the odd man out, but Blastoise also allows me to tank several hits from him. It's like a direct emergency for Swampy if the time comes. But Shedinja also provides me utility against Necrozma. So, in reality, it's just looking at what's the odd man out. I could drop Lantern. The reason why I question Lantern is because it does help me against Pelly, but... And the phone again. Alright, I'm back, sorry. Phone keeps ringing again, but I don't know. I'm really questioning a lot of my decisions here. Lantern helps me against Pelly, Xurkitree, and Noivern. It beats all of those mons directly. Blastoise helps me against Swampert, Beartic, Noivern to an extent, Weezing. Is Nidoking the odd man out? I feel like I need Nidoking, though, because if he gets up a Tail Glow with Xurkitree, I need Nidoking. And I could bring Shed to stop him, but then he just switches around, gets up hazards, and it's... I'm thinking about running Banded Hitmonchan for this final filler instead of Nidoking. Or, I don't know. I could drop Tapu Fini, but then I would need to run Rapid on Blastoise. Rotom is gonna stay for sure. At least I think it should. I don't think it should be the odd man out. Mostly because the only thing he has to swap into Rotom is Mega Swampert, which gets completely OHKO'd by Leaf Storm. So I can't run 7 Mons. I might drop Tapu Fini. Questionable maybe. But look at his team. Xurkitree kills me. Ferrothorn kills me. Pert and Pelly can also roost stall me. Weezing handles it, so maybe Tapu Fini is the way to go. And I run Hitmonchan here as filler. Is that smart? Maybe not, but it gives me an out to an extent. So if you're on Choice Band, let's just theorize here. Close combat is definitely viable, which would demolish everything. I don't know if I would need to run speed necessarily, mostly because the whole point of this set would be to tank a few hits. Would I need Sneak instead of Shadow Claw? Oh, it's recording? Yeah. Good trick. Willow could be run. Would 298 multiplied by 1.5 be enough to outspeed Megapert? 447? 447. 447. Nope. Not even close. That's so frustrating that all he needs to do is go into Swamp. Let me do another calc. Let's assume max damage. He does 47 with Scald. Let me write notes on this. So, turn 1, Blast 100%, Swamp 100%. Swamp EQ 45%. Blast Scald 30%. Protect 16 recovery, which would be 29% done. Next turn uses EQ. That leaves me with 26%. What percent left? Now this is assuming worst case scenario. I'll show you guys my notes here in a second. Then 26 plus 16 is 42. So it'll come down to rolls and whether or not I get a burn. But worst case scenario. Alright, here's my little notes. So, Blastoise against Swampert, 100%, 100%. Swamp EQ does 45 mid-range. Blastoise does Scald, 30% minimum range. Protect, recover, 16% recovery. Blastoise has 71% left. after recovery because you're doing 45 minus 16. Blastoise, or excuse me, Swampert uses Earthquake. Then I Scald. And after he uses Earthquake, I'll be left at 26%. I Scald. He's left with 40% left of his health, I believe. Wait, 30, 60. Yeah, so he'd be left with 40%. And then we would recover more, 16% with Protect, assuming Rain Dish is still up. Then I would be left with 42%. I would do 30% to him, which would leave him at 10%. Now, if I get a burn, I win this regard. If he gets max damage every turn, he wins the regard. If he gets max damage every single time and I don't get a burn, I lose. If he gets min damage and I don't get a burn, I should win. That's how this whole calculation is going down. Additionally, I could use Toxic to basically poison him, of course, and then rotate around with Shedinja to throw him off. I don't know if I want to use Sunny Day. Sunny Day seems like a niche, but it would let my Mons outspeed certain things. I'm going to probably use Modest here. Because 239. Yeah. 239. So 239. There you go. Gives it enough bulk to survive a few hits. It's okay if you hate me. How much does Mach do? Zerky. That's a solid 2-hit KO. Which is really interesting because he cannot kill me with T-Bolt unless he gets a boost. I'm running Scarf to outspeed Noivern, but I don't know if Life Orb would be more beneficial, thinking about it. The main reason why I'm concerned about this is because if he uses Z Hypnosis Circuitry, I flat outright lose. Because he could use HP Fire to hit Shedinja. But if he does use HP Fire, then he loses out on HP Ice, so he can't touch... Gives me an idea. I could just use Life Orb. Okay, my thought process is... Circuitry, no hazards up. Circuitry runs HP Fire. Circuitry doesn't have HP Ice. Circuitry cannot touch Rotom. Circuitry with HP Ice cannot touch Shedinja. But I have to keep hazards down. But if I do this, then I can't outspeed Noivern. And Noivern just eats me once Lantern dies. Which also means that I need Rapid Spin on Blast. Nah, I'm going to stick with my gut and go Scarf. Because I can sack Lantern worst case scenario. So here's the team. Well, that's about all I got. If Necrozma is run, I just hope it doesn't touch Shedinja. Because if I get Sunny Day up, that removes Weather totally, which in return allows my team to outspeed him. Rotom outspeeds Pert. Let's run a couple more calcs. I'm stuck between Scarf or Life Orb. See, if he uses Fire, he could hit Rotom and Shedinja. So Fire, T-Bolt, Energy Ball, Tail Glow will be his set. But then if he uses that set, he won't be faster than... No, okay. Here, I'll explain why I just changed my mind. If he uses the Hypnosis and no Tail Glow, Lantern beats it. If he uses HP Fire, Tail Glow, T-Bolt, Energy Ball, then Nido beats it because he doesn't get a speed boost. If that makes sense, hopefully it does. You guys will understand why I'm doing this. Sneak is used to outspeed Noivern because it's pretty decent damage. Assuming we can get Hitmonchan in on Pelipper as lead, we'll probably run Hitmonchan or Rotom. Question is, would he directly swap into Pert? Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Good luck, Strain. I'll do my best.